o'clock a.m. or p.m., where are your assumptions?
11 o'clock a.m. I am just waking up to go to my dance class. And I'm assuming that I'm going to get some points taken off because I do not have my dance shoes. I'm also assuming that I'm going to run out of gas because I remembered last night that my gas was past the E mark. So I assumed that if she came with me, she was going to take my car to the gas station, get some gas, and drop me off at class, and come back and get me. Those were my assumptions for 11.
What about p.m.? Are your assumptions on chill?
11 o'clock p.m., I'm assuming that it's almost the next night. It's the hour where your hormones are kind of high. And I'm just assuming some things about everybody who called me. If you call me after that 11, 12 o'clock hour, I'm assuming that you probably want to do some sexual. You ain't talking no business.
Can you elaborate about that?
A certain hour of the day, men sometimes call you and text you, and they be like, "What's up? I want to chill."
So is this after you haven't heard from them all day, and then they just hit you at this point in time, and you already know what it is?
Yes, you want to chill now at 11 o'clock when really I should be getting ready to go to bed because I have a 9 o'clock class in the morning. But you want to chill. What are we going to chill and do? Oh, you want to watch a movie? I'm not really in the mood.
But what if you wanted to read a book?
They never want to read a book. We don't have to read a book together. When I do book dates, I go to Barnes & Noble. And I don't go at 11 o'clock because Barnes & Noble closes at 10.
I love it. What about you, Diego?
11 o'clock assumption.
11 o'clock a.m. Well, today at 11 o'clock a.m., I was laying in my bed waiting to go to my critical thinking class at 12:30. I was assuming that today I would do something productive and learn something new. I assumed that today in class I was going to take some notes, go home, study them. I assumed that I didn't have to write a 10-page paper, but apparently I do. 11 o'clock at night, where are my assumptions? All depending on what I'm doing. Tonight at 11 o'clock, I assumed that I would be in my bed, done with all my work, relaxing, waiting for tomorrow till I leave. Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock. My assumptions. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. So I'm trying to rush to class because I'm assuming my teacher's going to be on time. And she's never on time. So I always waste time trying to get to class. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, so I already assumed that traffic wouldn't be that bad because the morning people who done went to work or whatever like that done went out the way, so I could come to school in about 10 minutes. 11 o'clock p.m., my assumptions are on chill. Unless I happen to go online or something like that and something triggers my assumptions.
Did you say some shit?
Carrie. It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
I don't assume then. I'm so lost. I don't
You take
assume.
those beats by Dre.
Okay. I'm assuming that Carrie.
Carrie, do you like Wayne?
You like Wayne? My favorite rapper.
Wait, did you make an assumption just now?
I made an assumption that Carrie like Wayne because we have been talking about a group project and he's so in tune to his video of Wayne.
She was right about that assumption.
You supposed to read when this on the screen. I'm sorry.
You got D5?
Okay,
Hell
we're recording.
Hell yeah.
What assumptions do you
Mindful
have with Lil Wayne, Carrie?
There's no assumption. It's straight facts. He's the best rapper alive. There is no ifs, ands, or buts.
Before you figured out that he's
He can
the
do
best
anything.
rapper alive, what did you assume about? The assumptions are assumptions about what is true and factual that are sometimes stated and sometimes implied. These assumptions are often taken for granted. It also says that reality assumptions are beliefs about what is true and factual about the world and So they are sometimes called factual assumptions or descriptive assumptions. They are based on the unique experiences and education of an individual. I can't read. Reality assumptions are sometimes directly stated by a writer or a speaker, but they are usually implied. See, I kind of get the gist of what reality assumptions are. Reality assumptions are beliefs about what is true and false. These beliefs are often taken for granted, and they are part of the foundation of a person's argument. Reality assumptions need to be brought to light and examined so that those who make them do not build arguments or faulty foundations. Reality assumptions can be discovered and examined through deductive reasoning and through the Tomlin model of argument. In deductive reasoning, the conclusion is inferred from the premises. When the premises follow correct syllogistic patterns, the argument is considered valid. A conclusion derived from true premises that are expressed in a valid form create a sound argument. Deductive reasoning helps us discover and examine our underlying reality assumptions, find both logic and truth in an argument, make clear decisions, and combat justice and stereotyping, understand argument, and argue constructively. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple scenarios and just tell me what do you think the reality assumptions are? And
Okay.
so okay, so this scenario is all teenagers should have a hepatitis B vaccination starting at 12 years old. Hepatitis B is a sexually transmitted disease that can be fatal. It can also be transmitted through intravenous drug use. The reasons is hepatitis B is a sexually transmitted disease that can be fatal. It also can also be transmitted through whatever drug use. The value assumption is health and prolonged life are important. What do you think the reality assumptions is in that?
The reality assumptions is basically I feel like they want parents to do what they think is right for their child. But, you can't do that because everybody's parenting skill is different. And just because you did this with your child doesn't mean I should do this with my child because everybody's child is different. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with that is, okay, yeah, getting a shot may help prevent someone's child later on when they become sexually active from getting hepatitis B or whatever like that, but it ain't telling you what symptoms that comes along with this young child getting this shot before they even sexually active. What will happen to their child, what symptoms is going to come along with. They just making assumptions like, oh, in the future they're going to have sex and they might have sex with somebody that got hepatitis and they might be unprotected. So start now and get this shot. You feel me? You don't. Everybody when they get older don't practice unprotected sex. Okay. So they just making an assumption that if they don't get this shot, then you gonna be at risk of getting hepatitis B because I just know you gonna have unprotected sex.
But why do you think? My thing is, why do you think you have to get it started at 12? Is that an assumption that 12-year-olds
It's an assumption now in today's society. I can say that a lot of younger kids are starting to have sex like in 6th grade. Yes. And 13-year-olds are being pregnant and all that. So that's probably why they made the assumption at 12. But if they want to make assumptions, they should go a little bit lower. Yeah. Because it's getting started earlier and earlier. Like, the other day, I was on the phone with my mother, and she was telling me how my little cousin came home and told her that this boy told her to meet him by the bathroom. Yeah. But she's in elementary school.
But like you said, that goes along with different parenting skills and what they're exposed to and stuff like that. But let me let you pause for a second because you said a lot. Brother Kerry, what you think? Do you, the scenario is all teenagers should have a hepatitis B vaccination starting at 12 years old. Hepatitis B is a sexually transmitted disease that can be fatal, and it also can be transmitted through drug use. So what do you think are the reality assumptions in that? We just said that they put in the vaccination shot starting at 12. Like, why do you think that?
Because kids are having sex at young ages these days. They don't protect the sex too, because some of them can't get their hands on a condom. So they just do it because what they think's happening, whatever. So I mean, it's definitely a chance of them getting a disease or whatever. But I don't like shots.
Yeah.
Is there any other way we can spread this? Instead of shot, you can drink some or something.
Oh. Okay, so another scenario is trials and executions should not be televised. It would turn our criminal justice system into a form of entertainment.
Children executions?
Trials and executions. Like,
I mean, to a certain extent.
Okay.
so what is the reality assumption of that? Like right here it says people will watch trials and executions primarily for entertainment. Do you think that's a legit reality assumption?
I feel like in today's society, it kind of is, because today's society, people are sick and disturbed. Like, they are really crazy, and some people will really get a kick out of that. Like, I wouldn't want to watch nothing like that, me personally.
Yeah.
But some people would really get a kick out of that. They, I feel like that's a good assumption that it shouldn't be put on TV, because everything that's going on in today's society, why would you put something like that of, something so private, and that's something between the U.S. government or whatever, and they killing somebody for whatever they did wrong. If you're trying to stop the violence, why are you putting violence on TV?
I mean, that's true. But it's some patriot people, like Zimmer. There's some black people out there who want to see Zimmerman get shot, and then you can say that's what he get. I mean,
So they just
yeah, it's
not for entertainment purpose. They just
Yeah.
want to see that
They
justice.
want to see that
like
justice. Because if you do something that bad, you deserve that, and it's like a public case in the environment. I want to see.
But like she did say, you do got some sick behind
Yeah,
people.
it is some sick.
I mean, that's fine. You want to see that justice. But what I'm saying is, with the whole killing people thing, I don't agree with executions at all, because I feel like, this person is being punished for taking somebody else's life or whatever like that. But what makes, is the government any better for taking their life because they took somebody else's life? Was that, even out the score? I don't agree with nobody killing nobody playing God or ending anybody's life. That's how I feel about it. He would suffer more if he had to go to jail for the rest of his life, be confined, get beat up or whatever. Yeah, if he had to stay in jail, but you killing him right then and there, he's not paying for anything. I was about to curse. He's not paying for anything or whatever. Yeah.
But it was. But touching on that, did y'all remember the girls who got abducted? The 3 girls got abducted by one guy. They said recently that he killed himself in the jail cell. Do you think that he already knew what was coming to him?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The prison system, the way it is, even though these men are in prison, some of these men be some stuff that other people do is a little bit observed, and they want to punish them for it in jail. He knew what was about to happen to his ass. He knew what was about to happen to him in jail, so he killed himself. That's what I'm saying. Killing them and executing them is the easy way out. I feel like they should just, suffer, stay in jail for the rest of your life. You gotta live in these 4 walls. I'ma tell you when to eat, when to shit, and when to sleep.
Cause them girls had to suffer. They couldn't even leave.
And
they said the door was a certain type of way.
I think two
of them had his babies, and they had them in the house because none of them went to.
Because they would have went to the hospital,
Yeah. But they said the door was jammed a certain way, the way they can't get out or something like that. That's creepy, but.
I don't think he killed himself because of this.
Why do you think he killed himself?
I think he killed himself because he couldn't deal with it, and being in that prison, everybody know what you did. He probably had a struggle, so he might just want to take himself out instead of knowing what that is.
Yeah. Well, we have some more scenarios. So here's another one. who is nobody, but he should try out for the NFL right after high school. If he makes it, he won't need to go to college and get a college degree. What's the reality assumptions in that? Like,
The reality about that is he can make money off the rip, and he'll be younger, so he'll be able to do it longer, but he lacks education, so he really don't know what's going on. He's still a kid, which leaving everything in his mom's hands. The only reason I know about this is because I thought about it. So yeah, so I mean, he should go to college and get a degree, because after football, he has nothing.
And I feel like what they didn't take into play with that is, what they didn't assume or think about is the fact that all sports, you are able, you will get hurt.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get hurt to the fact where you can't play that sport no more. So then it's like, what if you playing basketball and you tear your your ACL or whatever like that, and you can't run how you used to, which means you're slower, which means you might get traded to a different team, or you might just get dropped completely. What you gonna do then? If that was the only thing you had, to make money, and you ain't had no backup plan, where you gonna be? And you used to live in this, this lifestyle. How you gonna support this lifestyle if you can't play your trade, your sport, which was supporting it?
You always need something to fall in.
You always need a backup plan.
Even though you have people that, never amounted to going to the NFL or anything like that. They've been working at Burger King and stuff all their lives, and they made it without one, so. You can't go to a party in that outfit. No one will want to talk to you. What's the reality assumptions in that? Because I know nowadays with
The reality
girls,
assumption of
they gotta
that.
wear something like extra hoochie in order
The
to
reality assumption of that is you have to look, act, and talk a certain way to be accepted, and that's not true. I mean, nowadays, girls do wear tighter stuff. I mean, I do, but I'm still the type of person. I'm gonna dress the way I want to dress because this is how I want to dress, and I think I look good this way, so that's what I want to do. And I ain't gonna knock nobody else for dressing that way they want to dress. You want to dress like that? That's fine. It's not me.
So let's ask the guy, like, what if a girl came in and she was just a little bit different? Like, she was still a pretty girl, but she didn't wear nothing tight or anything like that or whatever like that. Would you talk to her?
Me personally, yeah. I mean, she cool and everything. She got everything together. Of course, I talk to her. But
I'm saying, like, in a room full of girls who got on tight stuff, and you would assume that they're easy because of. So
the average guy would look past her, but I feel like if a girl finna get dressed and she got her outfit on, and the next girl say, "What you doing? Don't go out in that." She gonna start asking for that girl's opinion more, which means that the girl's telling her what to do and all like that. Be a leader about your shit.
Have your own mind.
Goddamn, I'm on camera. My fault. But I feel like the different people are more accepted in the world. Like, they make more bigger impact. Like Michael Jackson, if he came in here with some tight clothes like that, he gay. But he turned out to be one of the biggest legends in the world.
Right.
So you can't just judge nobody like that because that's my hero.
You can't judge people by the way they look. You never judge a book by its cover. Go back to that old saying.
We talked about this before, but it says the death penalty is proof that we value revenge more than we value people. We should save and rehabilitate people rather than give up on them.
The government's corrupted. That's the question.
I agree.
That's crazy.
I agree.
Like, so you think if somebody, like Buddy who did that Columbine shooting, do you think that he needed counseling? Like,
no.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't have locked him up or whatever like that, because they should have, but he should have got counseling too. He needed something.
Nah, they should have went ahead and gave him that straight up death penalty.
Somebody do the shot dead?
No, not this one.
No,
This
the
happened
shot
like
was
way back now. I think he did Virginia Tech or something like that.
Oh.
But they actually showed his execution on TV. His name was Timothy McVeigh. And that was like the first time I ever heard about, I was like young, that was like the first time I ever heard about
He needed that.
Execution.
that. But I really think he needed the execution
He was
because you
crazy.
killed a lot of people.
There is no coming back.
That's no.
You need holy water,
Yeah.
a priest.
Because even like you have those crazy parents on the news that be killing their kids and they be ready to say that, oh, it was crazy, they need cancer, blah, blah, blah. I mean, people ain't crazy.
I feel like nowadays they know if they plead insanity, they gonna get some type of deal. And I feel like the justice system is not taking into place that these people know this. You know, they lawyers tell them this, and they not taking that into consideration. Like the girl Casey Anthony who killed her daughter. Nothing was wrong with that girl.
Nope.
She just was young. She had a child young. She wasn't ready for the responsibility, and she killed her daughter and got away with it. That's how I feel about it.
Because like they had all the evidence that led to. It's crazy.
And they try to make it seem like she was emotionally destroyed and all this other stuff. Like all this was wrong with her when it was just that she was a bad person. She got the pleasures of sex and all that, unprotected sex, and had a baby that she wasn't ready for.
I mean, I wish I was back in the old days because I'm talking to my grandma about stuff like that. She just be so shocked that somebody would actually do that. And we kind of like accustomed to it now. Like it's shocking, but it's like you can believe it.
Yeah.
Them they just be so shocked. They just had morals back then.
You're going to love this blind date. I've known him since 4th grade, and he's a great friend of mine.
No.
Just because you pool with him and your friends.
That's another thing. Like I got an example. Like my best friend.
Is this one who was in here last time?
That's my roommate. My best friend, she in Riverdale. She I had to get up for this one. Her best friend, her male best friend, me and him used to talk. And it's like she in the middle because you know that's my best friend and then that's his best friend.
Yeah.
So it's like just because you know that's your best friend, you know him as a friend. You don't know him as a boyfriend or somebody you be in a relationship with. It's totally different. Like you a good friend, but you a horrible boyfriend.
Yeah.
And you do stuff to your friend, but you don't do stuff for your girlfriend. You know, it's like that. And so with that, I don't think anybody should date their best friend. That's just let that go, cause that ain't good. Don't hook nobody up. They don't work.
And you in the middle of it.
It don't work.
What do you think about blind dates and the reality assumptions of going on a blind date and trying to trust that friend that tell you, oh no, we good, you know, she's good or whatever like that, you should talk to her?
I never went on one, so I wouldn't have to. I feel like one of my friends could talk me into it, but I would not want to do it.
What if he told you she was a red one? You know, y'all all go crazy. Well, that's a reality assumption.
Okay, let's talk about that. What is up with guys and light skinned girls? Because I feel like I'm dark skinned. And
I'm so glad I'm dark skinned. I don't even identify myself with being light skinned, I'm gonna be honest with you.
You are not dark skinned.
I don't know, like some light skinned girls, and this is a reality assumption, they make it bad for us. Like everybody assumed that red girls, or most people assume that red girls have attitudes or they this and this and this. And I actually do people watching, and like in one of my classes, I actually watch the red ones that come in class, and all of them think they bad, and they come in with that attitude.
I feel like people think just because they light skinned, they just it, and I don't feel like that because I know. I'm dark skinned and I don't think that I'm no type of ugly. You feel me? And I know some dark skinned girls that are just gorgeous.
Yeah.
That are just gorgeous. And then I know some light skinned girls that just look like you basic, you regular.
They think
what's so, you know? And you think you just the ish because you light skinned. I never understood that. Like, why does your skin complexion make you any better than somebody else? And I feel like
stuff like that is starting way back.
Yeah, I feel like that go back to white people and black people. I'm like, that's how I feel with light skin and dark skin. Like light skin people think they better than dark skin people. Like I had a friend. I got a friend that went with my best friend basically, and my best friend is brown skin, and he told me he was like. He was like, you think your best friend bad? And I was like, yeah, all my best friend's bad or whatever like that. And he was like, she cute, she alright, but she ain't bad, she not light skinned. And I just had to stop myself, and I was like, what? What do you mean?
No, like
she's not bad because she's not light skinned.
I think it's kind of like with light skinned girls. Some of them I think it's like a subliminal thing. Like even if they don't say it, they already been trained to think that That's how they roll.
But
That's
I
why
think-
I'm dark skin.
I think it's
Yeah,
gonna
I
change because now a lot of dudes are getting more into dark skin, and I think it's gonna change. And then light skin girls gonna get a reality check like, bitch, you not that, you not, you know. I think
Because
that's-
even like some of the darker ones, they getting like bleach cream and stuff like that.
I
wish
would
they had, like,
never.
some type of tanning
I
cream,
wouldn't
because
ever,
I
ever
sure
do
tan
anything like that to myself. I love myself in the skin that I'm in. And I feel like if you dark skinned and you feel like you gotta make yourself lighter to be with some nigga, you don't need to be with him because he don't like you for you.
Mhm.
That's how I feel about that.
Yeah. Charlene is really successful. She's only 28 and she's making $120,000 a year. Is that successful enough for you guys?
I guess I don't know.
Let's do math. So she's making $120,000 a year. Divide that by 12 months. Trying to calculate. This should be so simple, but you know.
She making.
10,000 a month.
Oh, that's. She making what? 2,100.
120,000.
That's 10,000 a month.
120.
120,000. 100,000. Right? Is that right?
How many zeros?
Hold on, wait. 3 zeros at the end.
Okay.
And 120. What's that?
Okay.
What's that?
Divided by.
I don't want to sound stupid. What
That's
120,000.
10,000.
Yeah, I said 10,000.
So she's making 10,000 a month.
Yeah, 10,000.
Yeah,
Oh, that's not bad.
that's good.
That's not bad.
So she's making 10,000 a month. So she's doing something really good. She is really successful.
6 figures.
There's no arguing with that one. Now, if she was making 10,000 a year, I don't think at 28, 10,000 a year is probably not good. At 28, you want to be making at least 30K.
I said 10,000 a month. That's ridiculous. That's great.
But we gotta assume that at 28, she's already done finished school and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Because
Got her degree.
nowadays, I guess it's one of those things where people assume that you're already going to school after high school. Let's just live together. Why do we need a piece of paper to prove our love?
Marriage. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's talking about marriage.
Well, I'm not really like a big fan of marriage. I'm not against marriage or whatever like that. I feel like, whatever works for you is what you should do. Whatever works for you and your man, your relationship is what you should do. Like I come from with my parents, they've been together since they were 16. They're 40 now. They haven't been married. My father just proposed to my mother on her birthday, which was June 12th of this year, 2013. They've been together since they were 16. What makes me feel like I'm not so big on marriage is like, just having the parents that I had and they talking about it. Marriage, they feel like marriage is, marriage symbolizes, a unity between you and somebody that you love, but it's also really, it really is a piece of paper. Because just because you aren't married doesn't mean that you have less love for this person or whatever like that. Like, my parents have friends who been together for years and years and years without getting married, and then as soon as that they got married, they got a divorce. So I feel like it all depends on, the person. You can make a lot of assumptions about, if you're not married, and you know how they got that little saying, oh, why buy the cow when he getting the milk for free and all that. But I don't feel like that's true. Everybody don't want to get married.
Yeah.
Everybody don't need to have that.
I think that's true, because I have an aunt that was like that. First of all, my aunt, she's one of those, strong, black, independent, black women. So, when you have those, they pretty much can do everything for themselves.
What is this? It's big. It's phone.
So when it's HTC.
Yeah.
So when it's time to court and get with a guy, they never let the guy be a guy because they so used to being a dominant one. And that's how my aunt was for years. Like, she was talking to this guy for a long time. And when he decided he wanted to get married, that's when everything went down the drain, because they wasn't living together, first of all. And when they started trying to do that moving thing, they're not together. Let's put it like that.
I feel like when marriage comes into play, you have to know the person that you are marrying from his head to his tip of his toenail. Because if you don't, and then once y'all get married and y'all moving together and all this, and y'all start figuring out all this stuff about each other, and you don't like it, you're gonna end up getting divorced. I feel like before you get married, you need to live with the person.
Okay, that's what I was finna say. Like, even though that's kind of backwards, because most people that's old school, they be like, we shacking up and blah 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 blah. So maybe they should live with each other prior to, just to get a feel of
how you really are on a day-to-day basis. Because if I'm marrying you, we taking this vow to spend the rest of our life together. How can I spend the rest of my life with somebody that I don't even know what they do on a daily basis?
Another one. The newspaper didn't print my editorial. I guess the editors don't really believe in free speech. Let me start off with this one. Because media is my thing.
Get it, girl.
But when it comes to like journalism and just mass comm altogether, you have ethics that you're supposed to go by. Even though you, like we said before in one of our videos, even though you have that freedom of speech, you're supposed to do things in a certain way. Like an example one of my teachers gave, when something big happened, like the 9/11 attacks, and you trying to report somebody who had a child that was just lost in it. You're not supposed to just roll up to their house with a video camera on, on blast and be like, hey, we're here to talk about your dead son. You can't do stuff like that. You gotta, ease on into things. You go, son, hey, I'm sorry about blah, 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 blah. I like talk to you a little bit about it, and then you ease the camera on in, or, however like that, and blah, blah, blah. So there's some type of ethics that you're supposed to have. So maybe she went in, taking that free speech
a little bit too
far. So maybe they did do it.
We was talking about freedom of speech today in my political science class, and he was saying, how do you think some certain things in the Constitution should be changed, since it was like made centuries ago, and it's the 21st century now. And he's talking about how freedom of speech should be changed because people are nowadays taking it a little bit too far, and the freedom of speech amendment was put in there to protect people and all of that. We was talking about that today. Did y'all hear about the lady that's suing to get the Pledge of Allegiance changed because she's an atheist? Yeah, she's an atheist, and she don't want her children to say under God when they saying the Pledge of Allegiance at school.
I don't think she need to sue for that, because first of all, saying the Pledge of Allegiance is not mandatory. I know many times when I was in school, the Jehovah's Witness and the rest of them, they used to sit down, they used to stand up, or if they stand up, they didn't used to say anything, because that wasn't something that they believed in. So why she's suing? I don't know why she's suing. Her child don't got to stand if they don't want to. If the school gets salty about that, then you need to, take your child out.
People are suing for every little thing nowadays. I'm just like, they're just trying to get money.
Yeah.
But that don't make no sense. We got 28 minutes, what, 29 minutes.
Okay, there's good news in that rape is on a decline in this country. There are 20% fewer police reports this year than last year at this time. So do y'all think that means that the rate of rape is going down?
Read the question again.
It was saying something like, there's good news in, this stuff don't make no sense. Listen, like, there's good news in that.
There's good news in that rape is on the decline in this country. All county. There are 20% fewer police reports this year. What we could assume about that is, nowadays it's so easy. It's so easy to get some that most people don't have to resort to raping females. Oh, that's the assumption that I make from that statement right there.
The guys cheap to go buy escorts, so he try to get it for free, and nobody else want to give it to him. So
Yeah,
But-
but this is saying, you know, that the rates are going down.
nah, I don't think that's true. I think that's just what they reported.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Like he said, it's just something that they reported, and maybe they don't have all their facts in a row, or maybe they didn't get enough facts to.
And that girl's too ashamed to say something about it.
Oh yeah, that too. Like nowadays, well, it's always been like that, but some girls they still ashamed to
I feel like
actually
back in the old day, they was like,
come forth and say something.
they'll run and tell everybody, the whole town, which is,
Actually, no. Like back in the day, I think they was even
for real?
like they'll still let that thing happen.
I
Like
feel like during the 2000s, like the early 2000s, when a lot of people was getting raped, or a lot of people was lying and saying they got raped to get money.
oh yeah.
I feel like that was going on then. And now, when people are actually getting raped, you know, a lot of people don't believe them. So a lot of girls that have been raped won't say nothing about it, so they think the
Or
rates
people-
are going
or
down.
it's one of
when
those
it's actually not.
situations where the girl was known as being fast, and then she actually do get raped, and nobody believe
Believe
her
her.
because she's
back
known
to-
for being fast.
The Kid Brown Wolf.
Yeah. But
Oh,
sometimes
yeah, somebody-
sometimes it may be family members or whatever like that may rape you, and it might be rape at first, but it may turn into consent later. Like, you know, it was something you didn't like
Yeah,
at
I
first.
seen something on Dr. Phil about that. Like her father, her blood
Nah, I knew a
father.
girl like that straight
Her
up.
blood father was raping her, was molesting her when she was little, and as she got older, she got used to it, and they actually had a relationship. And I was just like, this shit is
I know
sick.
a girl. No, I actually went to
like
school with a
that.
girl. Like, I kept my distance. Like, I used to joke with her, but I actually went to school with a girl whose sister had 3 kids from their daddy,
Yeah,
and all 3 of them
disgusting.
kids had Down syndrome or something like
Yeah,
that.
because you cannot mix the same
No, I had
DNA
that too.
together.
And I would ask her, like, what would your mom say? And she's like, my mom ain't say nothing. My mom, she wouldn't. I don't know if her mom was like scared or just didn't want to break up the family or something.
So
But
her
she
mom was still with her
Her
dad?
mom was still her dad, and I was like, well, how would you know that your dad? So do y'all think that means that the rate of rape
That's
is
the rate
going
of getting
down?
reported. That's not the
Read
rate
the
of
question
getting-
again.
It was saying something like, there's good news in this stuff don't make no sense. Listen, like there's good news in that.
There's good news in that rape is on the decline in this country. All county. There are 20% fewer police reports this year. What we could assume about that is, nowadays it's so easy. It's so easy to get some that, you know, most people, you know, don't have to resort to, you know, raping females. Oh, that's the assumption that I make from that
The
statement
assumption
right
that
there.
I think is the guy's cheap to go buy escorts, so he try to get it for free, and nobody else want to give it to him. So
Yeah,
But-
but this is saying, you know, that the rates are going down.
nah, I don't think that's true. I think that's just what they reported.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Like he said, it's just something that they reported, and maybe they don't have all their facts in a row, or maybe they didn't get enough facts to.
And that girl's too ashamed to say something about it.
Oh yeah, that too. Like nowadays, well, it's always been like that, but some girls they still ashamed to
I feel like
actually
back in the old day, they was like,
come forth and say something.
they'll run and tell everybody, the whole town, which is,
Actually, no. Like back in the day, I think they was even
for real?
like they'll still let that thing happen.
I
Like
feel like during the 2000s, like the early 2000s, when a lot of people was getting raped, or a lot of people was lying and saying they got raped to get money.
oh yeah.
I feel like that was going on then. And now, when people are actually getting raped, you know, a lot of people don't believe them. So a lot of girls that have been raped won't say nothing about it, so they think the
Or
rates
people-
are going
or
down.
it's one
when
of
it's
those
actually not.
situations where the girl was known as being fast, and then she actually do get raped, and nobody believe her because she's
back
known
to-
for being fast.
The Kid Brown Wolf.
Yeah. But
Oh,
sometimes
yeah, somebody-
sometimes it may be family members or whatever like that may rape you, and it might be rape at first, but it may turn into consent later. Like, you know, it was something you didn't like
Yeah,
at
I
first.
seen something on Dr. Phil about that. Like her father, her blood
No, I knew a girl
father,
like that straight
her
up.
blood father was raping her, was molesting her when she was little, and then as she got older, she got used to it, and they actually had a relationship. And I was just like, this shit is
I know
sick.
a girl. No, I actually went to
Oh,
school with a
that's
girl. Like, I kept my distance. Like, I used to joke with her, but I actually went to school with a girl whose sister had 3 kids from their daddy,
Yeah,
and all 3 of them kids had Down syndrome or something like
Yeah,
that.
because you cannot mix the same
Don't have
DNA
anything to do with
together.
And I would ask her, like, what would your mom say? She's like, my mom ain't say nothing. My mom, she wouldn't. I don't know if her mom was like scared or just didn't want to break up the family or something.
So
But
her
she
mom was still with her
Her
dad?
mom was still her dad, and I was like, well, how would you know that your dad was messing with your sister? And he was like, he'll just go in the room with her and they'll be there with each other for a long time. And I'm like, how did your mom feel about knowing that her daughter is pregnant with her cousin's child?
That's